So we're going to finish this section by looking at the Facebook Power Editor, which is the dashboard that you'll use to manage and monitor your ads. Now, you don't have to use the Power Editor to manage ads on Facebook. Facebook's actually got a basic option. But it's really important for the purpose of this training that you use it, because it does have better options when it comes to creating your ads, and that's going to be really helpful to you to ensure that you're targeting your ads at the right audience and that you can accurately measure the results. So I'm just going to give you a very quick demo. So here I am, this is on my Advert Manager, and you can see down the left hand side here the menu, you've got Power Editor, so that's what we're going to click on. Okay, so the important things to look up on this page, you've got campaigns, advert sets and adverts. So you can create a campaign, then within that campaign you can create advert sets, and within the advert sets you can create different adverts. So it's as simple as that really. So let's start off with a campaign, and I'll just show you through a few options. So obviously you give it a campaign name. I'm going to call this campaign 1. I'm going to stick with an auction, and we're going to have a look at website conversions. So we're really looking at converting people from just clicking through to actually doing something when they've clicked through to your page. So we'll create this. Okay, so that's created now. Next we go to the advert set, and again it's just the arrow at the top here. So you can see that one's been created now, so you can use that in your campaign. I'm just going to give this an advert name. It's got advert set 1, just to be really original. So this thing down here is quite important. The options to use an existing pixel, create a pixel. Now, when you're looking at conversions, and we'll go through this later in the training as well, but when you're creating conversions, you need to allow Facebook to measure who's converting, because they need to have a way of knowing who's converted through from the clicks. So what they do is put a little bit of code on your thank you page and use that to measure. So if you've got an opt-in page, you've got a sign up. After that sign up, you'll have a thank you page, and they put a little bit of code on there so they can measure it. So this is where you create a pixel. So you can choose a category. We're going to choose leads, because that's what we're doing in this training. We're looking at leads, we're looking at new customers to your website. And give it a name. So again, I'm going to be really original and call it leads. And you create that pixel. Now, it's just warning me now that I need to get that verified, and I'll talk through that later on in the training, but I'll show you how to put that code on the website that I use, which is lead pages for my opt-ins. I'll show you how to put the code on that, but you need to test this out before you actually use it, and it will prompt you to verify it. But for now, we'll just create that so I can show you the rest of the ad creation. Okay, so I've said before, Power Editors, it's a little bit clunky. It's not a brilliantly designed tool, but it is very, very powerful. So you can see underneath your main list here, you've got options down here for creating your ad. And I just want to show you through a couple of those. Some of these are fairly self-explanatory, so I don't want to spend too much time on them. You can set your daily budget. You can give it a start date and an end date, which is entirely up to you. This is the thing that I really want to show you, which is the audience. If you click on edit audience, this is where most of your time is going to be spent when you're creating an ad campaign. So you can give it a name if you want to save this setup, and then you go down. You can have a look at locations. So at the moment it's defaulted to the UK because that's where I'm from, but I actually target from main English speaking countries around the world. So I'd normally have USA, UK, Australia and places like that. And then you've got age, you've got your gender, and you've got more demographics there if you want. So if you're really interested in certain relationship status or education or work, there's a huge amount of options here, and it's incredibly powerful, but you need to do your research first, and we'll talk about that later. And the other one I want to show you is the interests. Now these are the Facebook fan pages. So when you're using interests, you're basically targeting people that have clicked like against a certain fan page. Now that's where your targeting comes in, and we've got a whole section where we're going to be going through targeting. But for the purpose of just demoing the Power Editor, I'm just going to click on one of these drop downs to show you. Let's have a look at films. Animated films. Oh, there we go. So now it's targeting everyone with an interest in animated films. You can see it up there, the potential reach has gone down. So it's now targeting 4.7 million people. That's 4.7 million people who have shown an interest in animated films, which is amazingly high. So we'll click save there. So I can just show you how to create the actual advert. So once you've set all that up, and you'll do a lot more in the actual training itself, you'll spend quite a lot of time targeting and getting the right audience for your ad. But after you've done that, that's when you can create the actual ad. And this is where you put in your image and your headlines. So we'll give it a name. Advert 1. Okay, so it will prompt you to choose a page. So I've got my business page there, which I can advertise to. And you want to do that, you want to make sure you're always advertising using a business page. Now let's scroll down to have a look at this. So you put your URL in, so this is going to go to your opt-in page. You can also have a different name for it. If it's a long URL, you can always shorten it. This is where you put your text and headlines, so we'll talk through that later and talk about how you can have a really attention-grabbing headline that's going to really help your ad to stand out. And you can also have a link description down there underneath your news feed, so people just have a better idea really about what your ad's about. And then you select the image, that's going to be your big call to action. You can also have a button on it, and I like to use sign up so that people know they're actually signing up. So you can see the button appear just there. And down here, the only thing you need to be aware of really is this conversion pixel. As I say, you need to actually get this on your website and test it before you can make sure it's verified. And it will warn you, it's got a big warning sign here. It will warn you about it, so you won't be able to publish your ad until that's done. And that's it really. The other thing that's probably worth pointing out, I only use the desktop newsfeed and the mobile newsfeed. I've tested all these different options. I've tested right column, I've tested audience network banner, but newsfeed, mobile newsfeed, they're the ones that have brought me the best results consistently. So it's something you can test, but if you want to get started and try and get some good results straight away, I would suggest just going with the newsfeed. I just think it's a case that when people see adverts in their newsfeed, they seem a little bit more natural. They don't look so much like adverts. So that's it really. Once you're done, you just click upload your changes, and those changes will then go through to the Facebook team who'll authorize your ad. They'll check it over and make sure you're not breaking any rules or advertising something you shouldn't, and then you're all set. And once you're set and it will be running, you'll be able to capture your data off there. So that's it for this training.